he was born in Vienna in 1886, 3 years after the death of Marx and 3 years after the birth of Keynes. Early years were spent in Vienna because the family lived in Vienna. Then his formative years and in Budapest, his many adult years in Vienna, where he was a political analyst and senior editor of a very important economic financial weekly called the Österreichische Volkswirt, which put him in a position of observing and commenting on all the international affairs of the 20s and early 30s. Never had any degree or certification in any social science or history. He had a degree in Doctor of Laws. It wasn't even from the University of Budapest, because he was sent down from university for engaging in fights to protect a favorite professor who was attacked by anti-Semitic students and had to go and finish his law degree in a place that very few people have heard of, called Kolozsvár in Cluj in Transylvania, now in Romania. Having started to talk about Red Vienna, I am a child of Red Vienna, that this made great impression also on my father. But I mean, I have the memories. He belonged to a trade union of journalists. He belonged actually to the Social Democratic Workers' Party of Austria, but just as a paper member. A socialist economy has to build on actual existing institutions. And in Vienna at that time, there was, first of all, a socialist municipal government that was re-elected every year until 1933. There was a very strong trade union movement. There was a very strong cooperative movement, which also owned banks. Incidentally, banks were also owned by trade unions there. I don't think at that time there was any bank in Austria that was privately owned. They were owned by provinces or by associations, etc. So you had institutions, and on the basis of those existing ones, there was a proposed plan. I think that is an important lesson, that thinking of socialism, it has to be something that is real. It has to be something that builds upon what is actually present and real, and not some kind of theory or fantasy. And in that regard, I think that is a point of departure for us. My father's work is better known in the United States than it is in Europe. It was written in 2 years in Vermont, 1941 and 42. It was published in 1944 in New York. And subsequent to its publication, he was invited to join the faculty of Columbia University on a 1-year visiting professorship. And this is the first university appointment that my father had ever received in his life, and he was now 61 years old, 1 year over the age of retirement. To talking about the importance of the work of my father, because I do believe that what he has to say to us is going to be of increasing importance in these months and years to come, which I think are going to be difficult, because I profoundly believe that we are living in a kind of a dying and decaying capitalist order, which increasingly is really not capable of dealing in the way that it was able to do with the problems, with many, many serious problems.